Director Ilumba, the first speaker, talked about PTF version 2.0, where we are rethinking the packaging and branding of the Philippine tropical fabrics. And then we move to Dr. Lalusing, hashtag kahit abaka may puso, okay, who talked about the improvement of abaka to resist the lingering and pestering virus that has plagued the industry for quite some time, and has also demonstrated a collaborative studies with PTRI and FPRDI in the use of this variety for pulp and paper and for textiles. And the last one was given by Miss Olive Ang just now. Hashtag I started uniforms at 12. Okay. And she walked us through the challenges of the uniform industry. So may I now invite our speakers, Director Ilumba, Dr. Lalusin, and Ms. Olive Ang on the stage as we entertain the questions. The floor is now open for the open forum. We have a microphone just in front of our cameras, so please approach the microphone. And then please identify yourselves, the institution you represent, and then you may ask your question. Please wait to be acknowledged.
My question is intended for Dr. Antonio G. Lalusin. Morning, sir. You specifically specified that there had been a time that you were strictly looking for the resistance and fiber quality in a variety of the abaca. Will you please state benefits of an abaca variety who have the quality of resistance and fiber? Thank you, sir.
Good morning po. Thank you po sa question. So actually, napaka-importante po kasi yung pagsamahin natin yung resistance at saka sa yung fiber qualities. Ang problema ko kasi sa abaca, our plant pathologist, nag-conduct po siya ng screening ng mga traditional abaca, and wala pong abaca na traditional na resistant sa Bunch-Top virus. So 1956 po, Pacol, which is wild banana, was identified as a source of resistance. Kaya po, during that time, ginamit na po yung Pacol sa breeding. So, kung papagsama po natin yung resistance at saka yung fiber qualities in one variety, napakaganda po dahil ang production po ng abaca ay hindered by that virus disease. Kaya po ang baba ng ating yield ngayon ng abaca because of that virus disease. So for example, sa Sogod, halos kakaunti na po yung abaca. Then sa Samar, especially in Las Navas, halos wala na pong abaca because of that dreaded disease. Thank you.
Ma'am, you mentioned that there are times na even sa inyo na yung client, you are also encountering problems. Yung tinatawag na, I believe that you really have that capability to hold clients kasi hindi ko kayo na-apektuhan ng state competition at yung mga iba pang problema na kalakip ng industriya. How were you able to stand yung strong capacity of others na agawan kayo ng kliyente? Totoo po yun, kasi kung isang kaibigan mo na very close ka, yung kliyente mo na pumunta sa kanya. I believe such circumstances have been encountered by you. How were you able to stand the test of time in maintaining your stand as a very firm manufacturer po and a leader of a national organization in the manufacturing of uniform? Salamat po.
I would like to say that everything else being equal, precious in consideration there. Work, quality of work will speak for itself. So if you have an edge on performance, then the price comes in as a secondary factor. Not really as a secondary factor. Everything else being equal, pareho kaming 900 pesos. Pero may track record ka that you have served your client consistently and you have been dependable. Kasi that's the most important thing, eh. You don't give problems to your clients. So, siguro may diferensya na 20 pesos, baka pwede pang pagbigay sa'yo. Pero higher than that, mahirap na because money talks. But everything else being equal, it is quality of service that will talk.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am. The microphone goes.
Good morning po. This question is addressed to the three of our speaker.
May we know where you are from?
Yeah, okay, I'm Miss Bernadette from Odie from TESDA. And I'm very much interested to know what are the priority or what are the current required skills or competencies of our workers in the industry.
Pag sinabi natin industry, medyo malawak yung term na yun. Pero I will just make reference to the project that we're undertaking with the TESDA. This particular project is really seeking to create national certification or NC2 skills recognition for handloom weaving, handloom weavers. Alam niyo naman siguro na ang mga handloom weavers natin, typically they're not schooled. They have not left their places of where they live or where they work. So ang kanilang expertise is really on handloom weaving. But what happens is, hindi na-recognize that in fact it is a skill when it is a very difficult process to undertake. So this is why we had requested to work with TESDA on a certification program. We are now 50% of the way. Nag-start tayo with the identification of the standards, and we invited different representatives from various parts of the country where handlooming is practiced. They compared the way that things are done. We had expert handloom weavers come and validate, and there's a validation process. So medyo mahabol po yung proseso. Nandun po tayo sa 50% of the way. Inaantay po natin yung isa pa nating project para po masusugan yung the next 50%. Pero yan po ay sa handloom weavers lamang. Sa ating pong paggawa ng when you make them into apparel or clothes, or particularly whether for uniforms or for the export market, meron din yung kailangan na certification program. So yun siguro yung second element. The last element or the third element we'd like to emphasize, we are really struggling to find textile technologists, textile engineers. And so this is really the core of part of what we are undertaking with the Iloilo Science and Technology University. The hope is that we will be able to come up with courses, course offerings, or programs that can help supply the human resource complement that we will need. If we are aspiring to have a textile industry, kung wala tayong technologies, wala tayong engineers, medyo mahirap yun. So kaya kailangan ilalatag natin lahat ng mga elements that are necessary to really have an industry to speak of. Would you like that?
I think what Director Celia just said is right. Insofar as sewers are concerned, all of these, most of them are homegrown. They have mothers or fathers who are sewers, and so the trade is passed on to the second generation. In fact, in my office, I have several families who are all related and all working for us. And then their cousins have come in and they have intermarried with other families who are working with me. So I think we are just part of one big barangay.
Dr. Lucien, may skill po ba? Baka yung skill ang skill kasi sa research po eh, ability to resist virus.
Medyo mahirap po kasi yung plant breeding kaya hindi masyadong yun po yung skill. Dapat po may artistic kayo at saka may skill.
Saka mahabang pasensya sa
sa
maraming virus sa research, figuratively and clinically.
I'm very much an advocate of tropical fabrics, our fabrics. I was very happy to be invited here today. Thank you, Ms. Celia. I'm also happy that I've been looking at Abaca online. I'm happy to have been here when Dr. was able to talk about Abaca. These are new information. This is new information for me, but I'm also at a loss because he also mentioned about resistance to disease and all that. My one basic question is, are we now moving forward and are we able to improve? Yes. Are we doing improvements now? How far are we in doing the improvements in the Abaca industry? Is there hope? Is there good news? And then secondly, because we are now moving towards natural dyeing, natural fabrics and all that, I was wondering about one slide which mentioned polyester and then added to Abaca. I know maybe it's just one of those things that but shouldn't we be moving towards not polyester, not all the petroleum products, but towards the more earth-friendly products? But first, the Abaca, how it is now. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Saras. So, medyo hindered pa rin tayo sa production eh. Kaya kulang, actually, Manila Cordage, nagsara sila because wala silang supply ng fibers. Then, ang 85% ng demand ay in-export natin. So, yung medyo natitira sa textile or even sa carbon paper, yung mga hindi magagandang qualities. So, ang masasabi ko na improvement is yung hybrids o yung bandala is napakagandang for pulp and paper at the same time sa textile. So, na-study na ng FPRDI at saka ng PTRI yung qualities at saka yung technical aspect ng hybrid para sa product nila. So, yun yung isang magandang development. So, hindi na tayo magkukumpete. Actually, yung competition sa supply ang problema eh, di ba? So, hindi na tayo magkukumpete sa cordage, hindi na tayo magkukumpete sa iba pang uses, pero pwede tayo magkaroon ng specific na variety para sa textile at saka para sa pulp. Na, ang problema kasi ngayon sa industry, Abaca industry, medyo cordage pa rin yung kanilang tinitingnan yung quality ng, especially sa tensile strength. Yung matibay yung tinitingnan nila. So, that is for cordage. So, may other uses dapat. So, mas maganda na every variety may specific use. Para bang sa coconut na pwedeng tayong for cocoa sugar, pwedeng sa buko. So, ganun din dapat ang tingnan natin sa Abaca. Hindi masyadong general sa cordage na. Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to add to that. Hindi pa siya, I have to say, hindi pa siya fully implementable. And I'm also very grateful that Mr. Mike Paparos, who heads a subsector for the Fiber Council, is also with us here today. Ang tama yung sinasabi niya eh. Now we can make a very good distinction. We can plant this Abaca material that is meant strictly for the cordage industry. And in those places where you have handloom weaving communities, plant the one that is specific for textile application. There should be no, kumbaga there is no conflict in this. Siguro nagiging conflict doon, yung education ng farmers. Kasi hindi mo nga naman pwedeng bigay sa kanila yung mababa yung tensile strength. Dapat yun ang ilalagay mo para sa textile side. So this is really education and management, cultural management. But I also wanted to address the other question of Kat, because Kat, maybe you weren't here earlier, when I think yung tanong mo ay mga siguro 8 years ago, karamihan ng mga studies na ginagawa sa aming institute, hindi mo maaalis na nilalagyan ng polyester. Kasi yun yung napakadaling base material, sa hinahaluan siya. But recently, we have also come to know more about the circular economy. And based on this, about 3 years ago, we already said, or 2 years ago, we made a definite statement, we are not going to be blending the yarn, within the yarn, anything with polyester. Ang pwede mong gawin yun, i-blend mo siya in the fabric. Why is that necessary? When you speak of government uniforms, typically, pag all natural, it becomes very wrinkly. It does not have that wrinkle resistance. And so if you're in government service, ayaw mo nung sabihin, ang lukot-lukot mo naman. para kung hindi nagpa-plancha, you know, so hindi maganda yung presentation nun. So, what we have said is we will say that on the warp, we can allow the polyester, but on your weft, it must be purely natural textile material or yarn. So, in a sense, pwede ka pang mag-separate. When I say separate, the technology will be there to be able to now dilute or separate or melt away synthetic as against natural. We will have to work on that because we are concerned about the circularity as well. In the end, we would like to be able to also nurture those principles. But we realize that when it comes to practicality and reasonableness, you need to have that less wrinkly look as far as uniforms are concerned. Mainstream, it doesn't matter. Streetwear, it's all right. Okay, hindi na po plancha. Pero yung pag-uniform na ikaw ay gobyerno, empleyado ka, parang wow, kagalang-galang. So, hindi mo kang kagalang-galang yung malupot. So,
Nandito po ni Madam Ang na talagang ang industry ko ng tela ay walang tigil sa pag-unlad, especially on research. Darating, will there be a time, Ma'am Elumba, na magkakaroon ng paraan para yung mga natural fabrics natin na presko nga, cotton, pag hinaluan ng ibang sangkap, nagiging unat, pero ang init naman. Kung paano ka, kasi very much concerned, especially among the speakers, hindi naman po lahat ng venue and on. Pag ikaw ay na-invite sa isang open place, kang gymnasium that you have to talk for a long time.
I was referring earlier in my talk to the trial run that I did for the officers' uniforms in about 2005 of a banana fiber incorporated with polyester. I think, without exaggerating, it was the most beautiful barong material that we had seen. When I presented it, it was sold almost immediately. Hindi siya nagugusot, hindi siya kumukupas, at ang care was really no special care, hand wash lang. Machine wash was not really very popular at that time, but hand wash was good. So since they had this fabric before, I think they can just get it out from their baol and from their aparador and then give birth to this fabric again, because my other client, China Bank in particular, wanted a reorder for that fabric. When they requested for the reorder, that was the time that we could no longer supply the material.
I'll first answer yung kay, sususugan ko lang yung sinabi ni Ms. Olive. Yun nasa baong na yun nga yung merong malakas na polyester side. And typically, polyester really, if it's a non-aircon environment, yes, you're going to feel it kasi it is synthetic. And going forward, we really are going to have to find that, let's say, perfect blend or perfect material that will have all those ideas na hindi siya, it's cool to the body, but at the same time, it is not as wrinkly. You know, if any of you have ever heard, yung meron kasing, at one point in time, I was working for the retail side, wrinkle-free shirts, wrinkle-free blouses, wrinkle-free. Have you ever heard those? And these are 100% cotton. So my point is, technology is always in flux. And that already happened 10, 15 years ago. But what does that mean? Wrinkle-free means may chemical application. So ito yung kailangan tayong mag-balance palagi. We cannot, I suppose that in this life, wala tayong 100% perfect. So we're going to have to really live with some and live with the other. Tanong sa akin, for example, the tailor asked the question, Ma'am, dapat ganyan yung gawin mo, kung hindi, yung itsura mo ganyan. No, I'm after comfort. Eh ma'am, kung comfort, masasacrifice mo yung look. So, mamili ka. Ano sa'yo? So, ang point ko dito, yes, we can always aspire for the best that we can hope for. But I don't think perfect is for everybody. Meaning, what's good for one may not be completely good for the other. So, ito, kailangan tayong maging very realistic. Technology is there. We can put that wrinkly, remove the wrinkliness, and at the same time give that comfort, cooling effect. One of the things that is a challenge that I have given to our research and development unit is that I would like to be able to have a material that is really cooling to the body, moisturizing on the inside. imagine our police forces, the traffic enforcers, if they can be wearing this, they're out on the road, and you can put antimicrobial, you can put all of those moisturizing and cooling effect on the material that they're wearing, that will be wonderful. So this is the goal of technology. This is where we're going to have all of those infusion. Pero, ang realization dito, ito yung cost issue. So we have to be able to consider that all of these things, meron din siyang kalaki. So kailangan natin yung balance na hinahanap natin. You have to be able to now choose what works for you. Are you after the price? Are you after the comfort? Are you after the look? You take your pick. So marami pong options. The menu is available out there. Thank you.
So I'd like to close the open forum. We can actually approach them after. Okay, one very last.
Good morning. I'm Alvin. I am just an observer here. I want to address the question to Dr. Yusin and Seria. Talking about this Taiwan story, we always mention Abaca. But I would like to ask this question. We forgot one other substrate, which is piña. Piña is better, I don't know, but this is as far as I'm concerned, piña is a better fiber as a weaving, as a knitting. And I would like to ask this question, why we always carrying the discussion to Abaca, and we might forget piña as one of the best fiber. That's the question. Thank you very much.
Actually, we have not forgotten piña. Abaca this is the first time that Abaca has become the center of the conversation, mainly because of the work that Dr. Dalusin has been doing on the hybrid Abaca. But you know, most of the things that we are doing are 80% cotton and 20% pineapple leaf, and 80% cotton, 20% Abaca. If I may request some of our members of the team, I see Engineer Rico over here. She's actually wearing a PTF material. Maybe please. She's wearing a dress that is made of 80% cotton, 20% pineapple leaf. Marnie, over there, who is in charge of our registration, is also wearing 80 cotton, 20% pineapple leaf. So we are all wearing elements of a PTF material. So not to worry. Pineapple is still at the very core of a lot of what we do. In fact, it is the easiest, most commercializable because of the fineness of the size of the yarn itself. No? So not to worry about that. It is definitely up there. Ang hindi po nabibigyan ng pansin in my opinion is banana. Because banana is another material that is a lot out there. If you look at the number of hectareages that is dedicated to banana, it is about 4 or 5 times that number dedicated to pineapple leaf perhaps. So there is a lot of opportunities there. I'm wearing a bamboo with cotton, just as the secretary is also wearing a bamboo with cotton. So we are trying to really make full use of this. We become our own research. How does it work? How does it wash? How does it feel? So kami rin, research din kami on our own personal take on this. But not to worry, there is a lot of materials on the pineapple leaf that we definitely are going to be pursuing. Thank you for that question, Alvin.
Sir, sa UPLB po, before, may plano po kasi kami magawa ng di pa po, ang fibers po kasi sa dahon. So we want, then maliliit yung bunga, yung fruit niya. So we want to produce a variety na parang dual purpose. Malalaki yung bunga, at the same time mahaba yung dahon para sa fibers. Sana po magawa namin ngayon para makadevelop tayo ng dual purpose pineapple.
I always say this because I really take a look at this as the wisdom of God. No? This is really nature at its best. Kung alam niyo yung piña seda natin, galing yon sa piña, right? Kanya yung piña seda. Pero alam niyo yung piña seda na yon, hindi yung piña na ginagawa ng mga plantation, pineapple plantation. Yun ay maliit na prutas, mahabang dahon. Kabaligtaran, yung nasa plantation, malaki yung prutas, maikli yung dahon. So imagine the brilliance of this whole thing, right? The same thing with banana and Abaca. Banana does not have as much fiber as abaca, but banana has the fruit. So really, everything is about balance and moderation at the end of the day, in God, in its wisest counsel for nature.
Okay, we shall end the open forum with the banana and pineapple waiting for us for lunch. As we thank Director Lumba, Dr. Lelucin, and Ms. Olive.